Good evening, lovely tubers. My name is the White Mexican, and welcome to Market Watch Investments. I have a plethora of cards that I'll be showcasing for you guys tonight. These will be my personal selections, and I do hope that you enjoy. Getting things kickstarted tonight is going to be OG Generation 1 Pot of Greed. This is a very particular print because this is actually the Euro print that was actually released out of Magic Ruler, which is pretty interesting. There's not really a lot of first editions on the market here. We can see the TCG platform only has a single one listing, solo listing for lightly played first edition for 100 bones. If we take off the first edition stamp, though, there is several other listings. Again, I really highly recommend that you invest in first edition, especially for a collector's card like this. But if you do want to wrangle up one for a more affordable price point, there is a couple more options here specifically for this print for unlimited. But again, it's all about first edition in my personal opinion. There's a lot of amazing rarities in this card. We have the Duelist Pack Kaiba Ultimate Rares donning the fattest price points as the highest rarity. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these really quick. Starting market price for this is going to be 150 bones for lightly played first edition. And this is actually going to be a European Italian, and apparently there's an error that has occurred, so I don't know what's going on with that. But if you want the English, most affordable English print, it's going to be 160 here for lightly played. And then near mint is going to go all the way up to $215 plus 99-cent shipping. Let's take a look at bulk prices. Unfortunately, there is no bulk prices available. Particular for the Ultimate Rare. Only 2 pages of availability. An amazing card and an amazing rarity. No surprise that this is worth good money. There's the Dark Beginning Super Rare, and then there's the Legendary Collections 3 and Legendary Collections 4 Secret Rares, which ran parallel. They reprinted a lot of the same cards in the same rarities. Amazingly, aesthetically just amazing cards, really great legendary cards and high rarities. I really highly recommend, if you guys have time, take a look at both of these sets and Legendary Collection Kaiba. Obviously Legendary Collection Kaiba is a lot more newer, but there is also some fantastic secret rares, and mostly the secret rares, but it's a great set in general. I love these sets, so I highly recommend that you guys take a look at those for yourself. So I would recommend these. If you're not going to go for the Ultimate Rare, I would definitely go after the first editions exclusively for the 2 Secret Rare variants. And then we already went over the Euro print, which was manufactured in Magic Ruler, not LOB, which was pretty interesting, kind of history around that. And then, of course, we have the original OG English prints. Generation 1, Set 1, Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon, Magic Stamped. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is... well, actually, not the only Magic Stamped variant. There was a Tournament Pack Common, I believe, that had the Magic Stamp as well. See if I can find it here. Thought there was... Totally thought there was a Tournament Pack for this. Here it is. So Tournament Pack 3, an extremely old set. You can see here, if this, I mean, it says TP3 here, so it's got to be accurate. This, I think, was the only other variant, if I'm not mistaken, that actually had the original Magic stamps on the cards. So that's pretty cool. You know, kind of gee-whiz for you guys. But again, going back to the original rare Magic stamped first edition LOB English copies. It was really cool because you can see the color variation. Like Magic cards were a little bit more green in tone as opposed to like the bluer tones that we have nowadays. So lightly played first edition is roughly around 44-45 bones. If you want a near mint, this is a Spanish one. It's kind of interesting. It says lightly played here, but then it says near mint for 55. So I don't really know how it works. So there's a couple of Spanish ones here. Apparently this is an English one for 75. I kind of feel like that's hard to believe that it would be this affordable, but again, people may say that, oh, it's just a rare, but you got to keep in mind, again, this is Generation 1, Set 1, extremely ancient, really highly sought after for collector's market. So some really great stuff. Only 2 pages of availability. Apparently there's a couple stacks available. Unfortunately, they are all Spanish. Fortunately, unfortunately. And I just realized that I forgot to start this. So my deepest apologies for that. That's going to be pretty messy. I shoot all these videos raw, so my apologies on that. Anyway, so Pot of Greed, ladies and gentlemen, and all around just an amazing card, so you guys should definitely check it out. Next is going to be Imperial Order. So for the longest time, this card was banned. It was on the forbidden list, and it finally saw the light of day a couple years ago. They brought it back to 1. It did get a quite unfortunate errata, but it is still an extremely powerful, influential card in the market, I personally believe. And I feel that it's grown in quite a bit of popularity of late. From what I can recall. Really great rarities. Obviously, we have Generation 1 Secret Rare Original prints from very infamous Generation 1 Pharaoh's Servant. And these aren't really too bad for the Unlimiteds, but when you get to the first edition copies, it goes for quite a bit of money here. We can see the starting market price can be around 24 bones for lightly played first edition. And then if you want near mint, there's 3 pages of availability here. The first near mint English copies are going to go for 41 bones. And it kind of just trickles up after that. If we want to go for bulk pricing, there's a single bulk pricing stack of 6 with a starting market price of almost 26 bones for lightly played first edition. So ideally, this being the Generation 1, this would be the ideal print for collectors and just high rarity in general. Of course, like I mentioned before, the Legendary Collection 3 Yugi's World donned a mirrored Secret Rare. Now keep in mind, this Secret Rare is different from the original Pharaoh's Servant Secret Rare. They're both Secret Rare rarities, but the Secret Rare foiling is a little bit different. It's kind of hard to explain. If you have the cards and you look side by side, you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. But just as much, this is still very much a Secret Rare, even though it's significantly newer than the original print Secrets. It's still the high rarity of Secret Rare and aesthetically really great looking. And let's go ahead and take a couple ganders here at the price point. Starter market price for lightly played is going to be roughly around Phantom under 25 bones, and then near mint is going to be around 27 plus. 1 page of availability, not even a single stack in sight here. So that's kind of interesting. And these are, of course, going to be, you know, as the highest rarities, these are going to be the most ideal prints. Of course, you have the Dark Beginnings Ultra Rare for your Dark Beginnings Dark Revs lovers, and then you have Duelist Saga. Now, Duelist Saga is, in my opinion, would be the 3rd best rarity to pick up. More specifically because Duelist Saga, again, I mention this a lot, but this is a really important thing to remember, that Duelist Saga has a lot of great history merit on its own because it's the only set still to stand alone for this very unique ultra holofoil lightsaber beam looking rarity. No other set here, the TCG, or the OCG doesn't even have this rarity. Here we only have this exclusively in the TCG, and this is the only set to manufacture this very special rarity. I bag on Ultra Rare all the time. It's kind of this like inside joke that I have, but Ultra Rare, even though these are technically Ultra Rares, they're better than Ultra Rares because they have that unique kind of aspect to their foiling, which is really cool. So this is going to be the last variant that I'm going to go ahead and showcase for you guys really quick. There's a European Italian one here for roughly around 9-ish, 10 bones. And then first near mint, first edition English is going to be around 12 plus. Switch over to stacks. There's a couple stacks here. Fat stack at 28, leading the front of, that's Italian. This is Italian, and it actually goes up to 25 bones for the first stack of English copies. So that's a thing. Alright, so moving on is going to be Borlsor Dragon. So this card was huge. As soon as Cybernetic Horizons dropped, this was like the hype card. Everyone was talking about this. For quite some time, this card was at like over 100 bone range price. And I was in Japan. I was actually living in Japan when the set dropped. And I remember there was like crazy hype behind this card, and for quite a good time this was a very prevalent card, a highly used meta card, and it was just a powerhouse card. I still think that this card really holds up. I still think this card is an extremely great utility card, and it's a very powerful card. This card can win you a game in 1 turn with 2 swings potentially, and it's got really great artwork, and we have some pretty incredible rarities here. Obviously the original OG Secret Rares dawning out of Cybernetic Horizon, then we have the Battles of Legends mirrored Secret Rare reprints. There's also an alternative artwork which just looks like total garbage. Like, apologies, I'm not really a big fan. I usually don't like alternative arts, and that one in particular just looks like total garbage to me. So if you like it, I mean, to each your own. I respect everyone, likes what they like. I personally do not like it. And then we have this disgrace of an ultra rare here, which is just sad. But really quick, I want to go ahead and talk about the original print first editions, because again, there's really good history merit behind this, and this is just a powerhouse card still. Like, I really think this card does not give as much love as it deserves, and I really think that it deserves to get a little bit more spotlight. And this is very affordable. Starting market price here is going to be roughly around 27 bones, give or take, for lightly played. Near mint's going to go up to 30. So it's not like the most affordable card, but again, given that this card was 100 plus for quite some time, and everyone's kind of forgot about, only 2 pages availability, so not like a terrible amount in abundance here in the market, but it's just something to consider. And it doesn't look like it doesn't look like there's like an option to even put there's not even stacks available, so that's something to take note of. The original print first editions, there's no stacks available, only 2 pages availability, so I can't be the only one that's looking at this card, because you can see on the market, at least for this platform, there really just isn't a lot available. But an all around just really great card, so I just wanted to shine some light on Borosold really quick. Next is going to be Murray the Fallen One. So this, again, goes back to Generation 1. This is the original rares, dawning out of Labyrinth of Nightmare. I used to call this the purple set as a kid. This is a terrible picture. It's really depixelated. You can't see anything. It's very blurry. Not an exceptional card by any means on its merit alone, but I just really like the artwork on this, and there's just, again, like the Generation 1 nostalgia behind this card brings a lot of great history merit behind it, and I don't know, I just really, there's a lot of good memories associated with this card. So I just wanted to dip into this really quick. I think this would be a really cool, like, super rare, or maybe even a secret rare, if I'm so bold to say. I mean, we only have these 2 variants. We have the Dark Beginning Common, and then we have the original rares. There really isn't much else that I wanted to go into specifically for this card. I think it would be cool for a rarity bump, personally. But again, there's just something about this card I really liked, and I just wanted to kind of showcase really quick, and not really too much to it. So I mean, we look at near mint lightly played first edition stacks, they're like about 3 bones. There's 2 3 stacks here, so not really too much of a big deal, but just kind of food for thought on that one. Next is going to be my all-time continuous trap card, and probably still, like, will hold this slot, like, probably almost forever. Like, this card is the trap card to stop all trap cards. Definitely by far, like Imperial Order, one of the most significant and most powerful continuous trap cards in the game. And it's got amazing artwork, and we just have some killer artworks. We have the Tournament Pack 4 Ultra Rares, which I believe was the very first print. This wasn't an actual core set card. I'm pretty sure the original prints were the TP4 Ultra Rares, which are like ungodly expensive, very, very sought after for collectors. And then we have one of my personal favorites, the Tournament Pack 6 reprint Super Rares. These are actually really, really nice. I was actually able to pick up 2 playsets of these in a collection that I bought over the summer, and I was really happy about that because the seller gave me a really killer deal on it, and it was just incredible. If we go to stacks for this, there's a single stack for around 95 bones. If we take off the bulk pricing, it goes to about 57-ish to 80 bones for these first couple 2 here. So again, just an amazing card, amazing artwork, and again, like, any collector's dream is to get TP stuff and Champions Pack stuff and all this really great stuff. Then, of course, we have the Hobby League 3 Parallel Ultras, which looks so great. These sets were really, really great because, one, they're extremely old now, really sought after for collectability purposes, in my personal opinion. Very aesthetically pleasing because they, again, like, they had like these square carved out hollow foiling, really deeply embedded. It looks really, really great. One thing is you do have to be careful about this. So during this era of the game state, I believe it was Upper Deck had some manufacturing rights, and they were actually producing specifically these set, the Hobby League things, and like they used a different formula with their card stock, and the cards came out like thicker. So they tend to bow pretty bad. You gotta be really careful about them. I'm pretty sure that like in like higher echelons of gameplay, like you're not even allowed to like legally play with these cards because they kind of stick out too much because of like that massive bow. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some price points here. So lightly played is going to be a Phantom under 10 bones, going around 9. Near mint is going to be the same, around 10 bones for a 2 stack. Looks like there's a couple stacks of availability. Leading the pack for a stack of 4. Lightly played is going to be 10 bones, and just kind of continues up after here. So not too terribly expensive. Given the age of this card and just the beauty of its rarity, it's a pretty special thing. Another thing that I think is pretty cool, of course, Duelist Saga. Same reasons I mentioned before. It's the uniqueness and the merit behind that set specifically is pretty cool, very affordable. And then, of course, there's the Secret Forces Super Rares, exclusively with the first editions, which are very, very affordable as well. One thing that I did want to mention really quick is, in this set, we got Super Rare Vanity's Fiend. So Vanity's Fiend and Max C are like some of the all-time like top watchers for the ban list. Players are continuously looking at these cards, waiting and anticipating and investing in these cards to come off the list. This particular variant is about roughly around 2 bones for the first edition copies before you factor in shipping. If you want to get into bulk prices, there's a stack of 4 here for 2, and then there's a 12 stack here for 4, 8 stack for 4, so it gets a little bit more expensive for the higher stacks. Unfortunately, there used to be more on the market for bulk pricing, only 2 pages availability. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because even though the ban list is kind of still far away, Konami's extremely unpredictable. You never really know. People try to like guesstimate what's going to come off the list, but you don't really know. They're pretty unpredictable. Of course, there's the Legendary Collection 5D Secret Rares, which are really great, exclusively for the first editions. But I kind of want to just talk about that really quick. So again, while I'm at it, I might as well. I'm sure like everyone and their mother is showcasing this card just because it's ridiculous. But Max C, again, one of the most infamous current ban cards of all time. We have the Astral Pack 4 Ultimate Rares, which are very, very gorgeous. They actually did this card very well. It came out nice and bright. Usually Ultimate Rares sometimes come out a little too dark, and it kind of takes away, distorts the artwork, but they did very well with this particular variant. The Ultimate Rare, it didn't come out too dark, which looks really, really great. Obviously, ungodly expensive price point. And then we have my personal favorites, which is actually the OG Prince Secret Rares from Storm of Ragnarok. Now again, like 99.9% of all of the material that I make here for this, I highly recommend you guys go for first editions exclusively. Lightly played, first edition lightly played, she's going to go here for roughly around 115 for a starting market price. And then near mint is going to be around 142. 2 pages availability. Looks like there's a couple opportunities for stacks. The first stack here is 127 for lightly played. Then it goes to 142 for near mint first edition. And then it just trickles up like crazy after that. So, so gorgeous. You have that really deep embedded secret rare holo foiling, which just looks really, really great. Alternatively is the super rare. So the 2012 tin super rare promos, I believe this came out of the Hanzo tin, if I'm not mistaken. These are actually personally my favorite copies. I have this borderline obsession with hand traps and super rare. I love my hand traps and super rare. If you're playing in a duel in a game and it gets slightly played, it's not really a big deal because it's super rare, but then it's still super rare, so it's still hollow foil, still looks nice, and it's still something nice to look at, in my personal opinion. A lot of people find super rares very like overproduced and cheap looking, which they can be pretty overproduced. A lot of the subsets obviously dominate in ultra rare and super rare, but keep in mind this is a tin promo from 2012, so this is a very old tin promo and a very just great significant tin promo. And I mean, it's safe to assume I think anyone would want to play this super rare promo as opposed to the structure deck common. So That's a thing, and these are going for pretty good money too. Again, I try to get these around like 8-7 price point is always when I try to pick these up. It's been quite some time since they've gone that low in value because it's just such an amazing card. And starting market price is going to be roughly around like, it's going to be like around 14. Looks like 14 if you factor in, well, almost about 13 for this one here, and then 13 here. Anyway, okay, so and then for stacks, it's gonna go up to around, it's gonna go to 14 for the 6 stack, and then almost 17 for this 3 stack for near mint. So, all right, Maxi, ladies and gentlemen, really great card. Next is gonna be Upstart Goblin. I know I sound like an insane man going in and out talking about this card specifically for the Secret Slayers reprint subset super rares. I'm aware that there is an original Turbo Pack super rare, which is like just retarded money, and then of course there's the Legendary Collection 3 Yugi's World Ultra Rares first editions exclusively, which actually came out really nice. Again, I like bag ultra rares all the time. Again, I'm super biased to this Legendary Collection 3 and 4 and Legendary Collection Kaiba. I think even to include the ultra rares, they came out very good. They just did ultra rare very well in this set back then. So that's something to consider. But again, more specifically, and then of course you have really great stuff too, like the, the original Magic Stamp Magic Rulers for first edition. Those are really nice too. But the super rare holo foils, again, they are holo foils. It was a nice reprint. I think it was a solid choice by Konami. And this card is, one, it has amazing artwork. Two, you never know, again, you never know when this is going to come to potentially 2 or 3 on the list or completely be removed from the list. This card has a lot of history merit on it. It's been in the game forever. And it's just, it's a potential, it can take your 40 deck card into a 37, potentially, if it gets released off the list. Who knows how long that's going to take, but that's just the thing. Like, every card has the opportunity to come off. It's just a matter of when and if Konami decides to errata it or not. So, really quick, I wanted to specifically take a look at the stacks because I think this is a great target for bulk pricing investing. It's roughly around 3 bones for first edition near mint copies, and there's a fat stack of 15, and then there's a stack of 8 here for 3 bones, and then there's a fat stack of 56 here for 3 bones. So just something to consider. I don't believe that this will stay this low. I mean, it's increased $1. It's been over a year since this set has dropped, and it hasn't had a significant increase by any means yet. But keep in mind, Secret Slayers is still a pretty new set, so it has time to grow. And this is just, it looks great. But the holo foil updating too with the spell attribute is pretty great. So something to consider. Next is going to be Nurse Reficule, the Fallen One, however you pronounce that. Apparently I can't read English tonight. This is specifically the super rare promo, so PS2 Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the beginning of Destiny. This actually had a name change, so there was another variant that got reprinted as a mirrored rarity of super rare from Destiny Soldiers, and they wanted to actually include it in the Dark Lord archetype, so they actually completely changed the name to Dark Lord Nurse Reficule. And this is, obviously newer, extremely cheap. It's about a bone here. There's plenty of stacks availability, first edition near mints. So that's a thing. But more specifically, the original one, because it's a promo super rare, and to me, just like the idea of like holofoil promos and them being promos just makes them a little bit more competitive to get, and especially if it's like a really old game promo like this one. Obviously, PS2 was quite some time ago. And it's the original name, the original printed name of this card, which is pretty cool. And we're gonna go ahead and look at some prices. Starting market price for lightly played is gonna be roughly around 14 bones, and then if you want a near mint copy, it goes up to 15. That's for a European Italian, and then there's actually a stack of 3 for apparently English here. English copies for 15. 2 pages availability. We're just gonna go ahead and switch over to stacks. It looks like there's there's that 3 stack, and then there's a stack of 5 here, 15, but be aware of this sneakily 5 bone shipping here. So that's the thing. Next is gonna be bad reaction to Simochi, And there's the Dark Beginnings common reprint, and then there's the original OG Generation 1 Legacy of Darkness. This is the infamous set with the bird. And there's actually, so a couple weeks ago I started a new series where I do like a little spill on potential rarity updates in the game, and just cards I think that have really great potential or deserve rarity bumps. And there was actually someone on my channel who commented, and I was trying to kind of get like, hey, like, what do you think deserves a rarity bump? And someone actually made the recommendation that Bad Reaction should get a rarity bump. And I don't remember if they specifically said secret rare. I know me personally, when I saw that comment, I was like, you're right, that is such a good idea. I think Bad Reaction totally deserves a holofoil reprint, a rarity bump, and this card would just look nasty in secret rare. I think it would just be completely criminal if Konami reproduced this in secret rare. It would look so sick. I would think that this card, the holofoiling and the artwork would just come off so sinister, and it'd be great. So I really hope that comes into reality, that we do get a rarity bump, and hopefully it's not a garbage dog ass ultra. Please, Konami, do not throw this in some cheap subset as an ultra rare. Please give us a secret rare. That would be so awesome. This card is really not really too expensive. I mean, it's kind of like a half bone here. Obviously this is ran in burn decks, just the same as the next card that I'm gonna showcase here, which is gonna be Gift Card. Interesting enough, this still to the day, even though being a very old card from Tactical Evolution, is a solo print, and this card is worth good money, more specifically for that reason. And I actually just noticed there's some Karibos here on this like ticket thing, which is pretty cool. Starting market price near mint, first editions exclusively, of course, is gonna be 5 bones. Kind of trickles up after that. It kind of maintains and trickles up a little bit. There's 2 pages availability. It doesn't look like there's an option for stacks, even though there is a stack right here, so that's kind of interesting. For 8 bones for lightly played first. And yeah, there's 2 pages of availability. So again, burn decks galore. This is a solo print. It's extremely old, so it's kind of worth money. I could potentially sell it or whatever have you. Okay, next is going to be a little spill on what I consider Generation 2 and Generation 3 starter deck Yugi and Kaiba. Now everyone knows the infamy of the Generation 1 starter deck Kaiba and Yugi with the ultra rare original print Blue Eyes and Dark Magicians, exclusively for the first editions. They're highly sought after, very popular, very expensive, really great targets for investing in. And the next starter deck, what I call Generation 2, came out several years later. This was the Evolution series, and it donned Dark Magician in this artwork as a super rare, and Blue Eyes and this artwork, which I don't like this artwork personally. This is like one of the worst artworks of Blue Eyes, but it is old, and I'm going to kind of get into my reasoning behind this in a bit. Really quick, I just wanted to review the ultra in this was Black Luster Soldier, and this is a very significant variant, because the only other like really cool variants was, I think, a DT rare. So DT7 produced a rare, and it's between 5 and 16 bones, so that's obviously sought after highly. DT is just extremely aesthetically pleasing and all around. I think it's just a fan favorite rarity, and it's also discontinued potentially. We'll see with the new Hidden Arsenal stuff that's coming out. We'll see how that goes. I thought this was the only holofoil, but I guess Duelist Pack Battle City donned a super rare, which is, you know, I mean, kind of is what it is. This is a higher rarity, being ultra rare. Now, again, it is ultra rare, which is kind of unfortunate, but keep in mind this is extremely old, so that's what kind of gives it a boost in value for this particular print. And really quick, I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys, like the dual terminal, this is worth pretty good money, or at least it was. It actually looks like it kind of increased a little bit for quite some time. I feel like this was hitting like the 15-20 bone range. Obviously, it probably got a little bit flooded on the market when people got excited and realized they had a lot of these laying around. They weren't really using them. Probably flooded the market a little bit potentially. I'm not really sure exactly what happened there. But starting market price for this is going to be roughly around 4-ish bones for lightly played. And then if you want first edition copies, there's 6 pages here, availability. In the first near mint, it's going to be roughly around 8. So definitely has decreased significantly We're going to go ahead and switch over to stacks. It's going to be a single stack. There's not a lot of stacks available though, so that's something you got to keep in mind. Roughly around 6 bones, but don't forget this 3-bone shipping here for lightly played first editions. Really great artwork, obviously really great history merit behind this card. So that's something to take into consideration. And then of course we have Dark Magician. Now this is a pretty cool artwork. Again, it's not as cool, I personally think, as like the Generation 1 artwork, but still really cool artwork. I appreciate this. It's pretty alright to me. Again, this is all for collectors investment value, so like everything else, you want to go first edition exclusively, and this really isn't that bad. So it's roughly around 3-ish, 4 bones once you factor in shipping, and then it trickles up to 5, 6. There's 4 pages of availability. If we switch over to stacks, there's a couple of stacks available. First market price for near mint first edition is roughly around 6-7 bones, so 6.5, and then quickly jumps to almost double at a Phantom under 10 bones for lightly played first edition for a fat stack of 44. And then there's a couple other ones here. So not quickly depleting on the market, but definitely starting to decrease in availability. So something to be aware of. And again, if you look at kind of the trending of like the Generation 1 first edition ultras, they're just like retarded money, and who's to say that these aren't to follow suits? That's kind of like the whole like white Mexican theory behind this. So super rare variant of Generation 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon. Again, not the most beautiful artwork, but it is Blue Eyes White Dragon, and if you have that first edition stamp, it's always a good day. This one's a little bit more expensive. Starting market price for lightly played is going to be 7 bones. And then we're going to go ahead and find the first near mints to be around 11 bones. There's 5 pages of availability here on the TCGB platform. And the first stacks for near mint first edition is going to be 11 bones, and bottoms out at 20 for those last 3 stacks. So again, like the stacks for Dark Magicians exclusively for the first edition prints, there isn't really that much availability on the market. So I think both of these variants have a lot of room and potential to grow in value. Really quick, also Kaiser Seahorse. So this is the only hollow foil variant, I believe, that we have of this card. There is a rare here, common, yeah, rare. Okay, so yeah, this is the only holofoil as an ultra rare. Unfortunately, really cool artwork behind this. I love how this is like a sea serpent water-based card, but then it was a light. I think that was a pretty good ploy. And then, you know, obviously you can use this for, well, any kind of any light deck. I mean, you can use it for a Christia, you can use it for a Blue Eyes, you can use it for whatever you really want, light-based, which is pretty cool. And it's not too bad. I mean, it is a level 4, 1700, not the best stats, but I mean, it's better than some. And then it also is light, so I mean, you can go for BLS play or Chaos play or Honest play or whatever else have you. But there's really cool artwork on this. I really like this artwork a lot. And the best thing about this, the most important fact about this investment is this card is extremely affordable. If we look at first editions exclusively, stacks even, they're not even a bone a piece for a stack of 5 for lightly played. But there's plenty of stacks available. So something to consider. Next is going to be what I consider Generation 3 of the Stardex Yugi and Kaiba. These dawned, and still to the day, the only ultimate rare print variants of the legendary infamous Dark Magician and Blue Eyes. And again, they picked terrible artwork. I really don't appreciate these artworks, the slab artworks. Blue Eyes looks a little bit better. Dark Magician just looks terrible, in my personal opinion. But the most important thing to remember about these investments is that they are the only ultimate rare variants we have of these iconic cards. Now, keep in mind, these were starter decks, so they were highly produced and all that, but they are very, very old now and hard to get. So they're definitely seeing some value, and again, like the Generation 2 variants, I think that they have great opportunity to grow in value. So starter market price for Dark Magician here is going to be 7 bones for lightly played first edition. If you want near mint, there's 7 pages of availability here on the TCG platform. It doesn't look like we're going to get near mints until the 3rd page, and those are going for roughly around 17 plus bones. We switch over to stacks. There's a playset of lightly played first editions for 8 bones plus 99 cents shipping. And then if you want near mint stacks, it's going to go all the way up to 20 bones a pop for a stack of 4. 2 pages of availability on the stacks for that. Next is going to be Blue Eyes. This is significantly more pricey. Lightly played first edition variants go up to 15 plus 99 cents shipping. And then if you want near mint variants, there's actually 8 pages of availability here. And the first near mint first edition copies are going to be 30 plus bones with the shipping. Switch over to stacks. Looks like there's a couple sellers with stacks. Leading the pack is a 5 stack of lightly played first editions for 28 bones. And then the first stack, fat stack of 10 here for near mint first edition is actually a whopping 40 bones plus this sneakily 5 bone shipping. So there you guys have it. Again, something that I like to dip in and out of. I don't really see a bunch of people talking about this. I'm really surprised that people I'll be honest, I'm not a huge I don't watch a lot of other people's market watch videos. I kind of feel like it would kind of change my mindset on things, and I like to always kind of have like original ideas for the most part. I like to be kind of aware and kind of off spark certain ideas from other channels, but I try to kind of avoid to really be kind of obsessed with watching like everyone's videos, because I really like to kind of do my own thing. But anyway, next is going to be Confiscation. This is one of my all-time favorite Magic cards. This card is just ridiculously powerful. It's been banned for quite some time. It's got amazing artwork. It's kind of hard to see, but I love the eyes. You can see like these very sinister, like orange, yellow, ember looking like eyes in the soldier, and it's just got this like old school Generation 1 artwork where it wasn't really detailed, but there's just I don't know, it's hard to explain that. And like this kind of like whatever era, like Dark Ages, knights and swords and arrows and all this stuff era of artwork, and just really cool. And he's got like this kind of just really sinister smile. It's kind of hard to see in the picture. You have to see it up close and personal. It looks really great. Anyway, of course, this is the original Magic Ruler, Magic Stamped variants. And let's go ahead and take a look at some prices here. Starting market price is going to be 6 bones plus a bone shipping for lightly played. There's a 2 stack. And then near mints are going to be roughly about 16-ish plus the shipping. Let's see if there's any stack prices. There's 1 stack of 4 near mint first edition for 36 a piece plus 5 bone shipping. So that's pretty steep. Magic Ruler was like one of my all-time favorite Generation 1 sets. There's such a powerhouse set. There's so many amazing cards in this set, and amongst many other things, Confiscation was one of my favorites from this set. So obviously there was Spell Ruler, Mirrored Super Rares. They weren't manufactured in first edition, so kind of rendered useless to me. I know there's probably less Spell Ruler actually manufactured than Magic Ruler, so technically there's probably less unlimited Spell Ruler variants out there than actual first edition original Magic Stamp ones. But I mean, that's kind of I gotta have the first edition stamp and like the OG original, even though like these are always infinitely going to be better in my opinion, because they're older, like they came out first. Like these are actually Magic Stamped Magic Ruler, as opposed to the Spell Ruler spells were reprints. So that's kind of my personal opinion on that. Next is going to be Change of Heart, another infamous, iconic, so many amazing ties to the anime, and just an amazing card in general. Still to the day banned. Such a powerful card is Change of Heart. A lot of amazing reprints. We got this Secret Rare from, again, Infamous Legendary Collection 3. Check it out for the first editions exclusively. Dark Beginning 1 Ultra Rare reprint. Metal Raiders original first editions is really kind of like the collector's paradise here. These for lightly played first edition, lightly played near mint first editions are going to be like the corner of the market for the collector era here, or collector's section, I could say. Looks like the first English copies of lightly played first edition is going to be 135 bones. If you want near mint, my goodness. And again, this is a perfect example of not only the differentiation between first edition and unlimited price points, but now we have first edition lightly played being 135 bones, and then first edition near mint is all the way a whopping 600 bones. A single copy here from Core TCG. So pretty incredible. I wonder if there's even any stacks available. There is a single stack available for lightly played first edition for 200 bones from Blazing Cards. So ideally, because this is the original print, it's the oldest print, and it has the original Magic stamp on it, in my personal opinion, for the first editions exclusively, this is the most ideal for collectors and the most sought after, the most desirable, the most competitive copy to get. Can't disregard the first edition secrets from Legendary Collection 3. One, because it's one of my, again, just can't get enough of this set, and it's secret rare. I'm really biased to secret rare. Secret rare is like one of my favorite rarities of all time, and it's just high rarity secret rare. So that's a thing. But yeah, these are really kind of the only two. There isn't really much else. Some of the older the Gen 1 starter decks like Pegasus, Starter Deck Joey. Those two and Yugi are Generation 1 starter decks, within the first couple years of the game's dawning here, so for us in the TCG. So for first edition copies exclusively, maybe, more specifically for Starter Deck Yugi, I mean, he's like the most iconic character of Generation 1. Let's see, just out of curiosity, these are commons, but keep in mind it is Generation 1 Star Decks, and these are actually not really surprisingly worth money. I mean, we're talking about Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! First edition copies. Now granted, these are commons, they're not hollow foils, but they are extremely old. Starting market price is going to be about 16 bones, then quickly jumps to 30 plus after that for this specific one. I think there's going to be quite a significant decrease for the Star Deck Pegasus copies and Star Deck Yugi. But let's just go ahead and take a look while we're here. Anyway, so yeah, these obviously are not Star Deck Yugi, and it's kind of interesting because Joey's still a really iconic Generation 1 character. He had a lot of content in Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! In the anime, and these are just like insanely more affordable. They're like barely a bone for even near mint first edition copies. Let's take a look at stacks. So stacks, a bone for near mint first edition for a 5 stack. So obviously these are a little bit more in abundance. I just think that's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Pegasus, not Joey. That was Pegasus. First we reviewed Yugi and then Pegasus. Joey's over here. I'm wondering if Joey first edition near mint lightly playeds are going to follow the same suit as the Pegasus ones. So it looks like they're significantly more affordable for the Joey starter deck and the Joey starter deck and the Pegasus starter deck variants. Barely a bone here. We're going to switch over to stacks. Again, same thing, lightly played first edition, not even a bone, 4 stack. And there's a couple other listings here. So if you don't want, I think everyone would ideally want to get, but for 15-20 bones, it's pretty steep for even a common. But again, it's very, very old. So just keep that in mind. Those the Pegasus and Joey are alternatives to the Yugi one, but ideally the first edition original OG prints and the secret rare first editions are going to really take the cake on that. Alright, so the next is going to be Blackluster Soldier. I love this card. Invasion of Chaos was a really special time in my childhood, and just has some really great memories of, the game state, originally playing this game. I think it was a 2004 set. Pretty sure ILC came out and was released in 2004 for us here in the TCG. Anyway, amazing rarities. My personal favorite is the Master Collections Volume 2. Of course, we have the Dark Revs, Ultra Rare. We have the original first edition Invasion of Chaos Generation 1s, Legendary Collection 3, Joey's World, Yugi's World again, with all its infamy, first edition secret rare copies. These actually came out really good. They came out very bright, a little bit lighter than the Master Collections Volume 2. This was like a really obscure side set that was really cool. There's actually two different volumes to this. Of course, we have the Duelist Saga ones, the Tin Supers, and interesting enough, I don't know how, but like this terrible gold, like a lot of people don't like gold, and rightfully so, especially for like these certain variants, but these are like worth money. Interesting enough, I mean, starter market price, even for like unlimited, not even first edition, is like 10 bones. Like what is going on here? So that's a definite sell in my personal opinion. If you can find someone to buy that garbage for 10 bones, that'd be pretty amazing. But then we even have like the legendary, the Gold Series 4, gold variants, which again, like, they're nowhere near aesthetically pleasing as the secrets or the original ultras or anything. And these are like 10 bones plus, or like 11 plus starting market price. So that's another sell target too, potentially, if you guys want to sell that. Okay, so really quick, I'm gonna go ahead, and this video is already pretty long, so I'm actually just gonna showcase this variant and the collector's rare really quick to kind of wrap things up here for you guys tonight. But keep in mind, the two other first edition secret variants are really great, and you should definitely take a look at those. Starting market price for the OG first edition Prince lightly played is going to be 200 bones plus for lightly played. Near mint is going to go up all the way to a whopping almost 700 bones, 693 essentially, plus this 1 bone shipping. Incredible market price on this. Not really a lot of availability at all one single stacks, 1 page, anywhere fishing from 200 all the way to a whopping 2 grand here. Pretty incredible. Again, just an amazing card in general. Really quick, before I get into said Chaos Emperor Dragon, we can't forget this gangster right here, Chaos Sorcerer. Again, you know, he was a watered down version of Blackluster Soldier, and for a while this was kind of like as good as it got for us when Blackluster Soldier was banned for such a long time. The Turbo Ultra is the highest rarity, technically, per se, of this card for us here in the TCG. This is pretty good money. There's a European German one for 150. Some more here, I guess 215 apparently, if this is English, and kind of continues to trickle up after that. So very expensive for this variant. I mean, makes sense. It's a Turbo Pack 2, which is very old. But then again, there you have the super rare variant again. The set speaks for itself. Legendary Collection 3, such an amazing set. First edition lightly played near mint. These are actually not too bad. You know, 8 bones for a near mint first edition. 5 pages availability. Gonna switch over to bulk pricing. There's a 3 stack here for roughly around 10 bones. Then it jumps to about 18 for the next set there. So Chaos Sorcerer, ladies and gentlemen, really great stuff. Then of course you have the original commons from LOC here, which are, you know, worth a good gander, exclusively for the near mint lightly played first editions. And then of course we have the Toon Chaos collector's rare. Now, I don't personally really like collector's rare. Like, to me, they come off as kind of like wannabe ultimate rares. Some people like them. I personally don't. I don't think they're really much of anything special, but they're worth really good money. I mean, there's a market for them. Someone's got to be buying them for these prices, apparently. So only 2 pages of availability. First edition lightly playeds are 340, and then near mints are 355, and then it kind of just trickles up after that. And they're all around just really great money. So if you have these cards, I would personally try to sell them, but you know, there's always got to be a buyer on the market for that. So completely up to you guys on that. Next is going to be Chaos Emperor Dragon, the infamous, the one and only. Fortunately, this got a major errata. It really wouldn't have come off the ban list if it didn't, so it's kind of like a win-loss situation for players. We have the Duelist Pack Kaiba Ultimate Rares, which are really nice. So go ahead and take a look at those, exclusively for the first editions. Starting market price for the Ultimate Rares, is going to be 2.9, around 210 bones for lightly played first editions. And if you want near mint, there's 3 pages of availability here. The first near mint English copies, is this graded or gradable? This is a European French, I guess. Around 430, give or take here for near mint first edition. Then it trickles up after that. See if there's any stack prices. There are no stack prices available for the ultimate rare. And then of course we have the very infamous legendary Generation 1 Invasion of Chaos original deep secret rare foiled OG prints. I really regret, I had I think 2 or 3 of these original print first editions, and I sold them actually when I was living in Korea. I sold them online. I don't remember exactly. It was for a pretty good amount of money back then, but not anywhere near the collectability prices that we have now here in 2021. So 175 bones for lightly played, and then if you want near mint, there's 3 pages of availability, and the first near mint copy is going to go up to 450 plus the shipping here. And then it kind of trickles up after that. Let's see if there's any stacks available. There is a single stack of bulk pricing available, lightly played first edition for 300 bones. Love this card so much. And then of course we have the collector's rare Toon Chaos. If you guys are into that, starting market price first edition lightly played is gonna be 174 bones. And then near mint goes to 185. Interesting enough, if you compare the BLS collector's rare, it's like ungodly expensive, and then it's kind of sad that Chaos Emperor Dragon, even though it's got like that massive slap in the face errata, it's just so much cheaper. Personally, I think Chaos Emperor Dragon looks cooler. They both look great, but I've always favored Chaos Emperor Dragon just because it really reminds me of like the Yada Lock format in Sangan or Witch of the Black Forest, blowing up the field, searching Yada, attacking directly with Yada, and just kind of pecking your opponent to death. Some really great dark history in the game. The last card I have for you guys tonight is going to be Reckless Greed. There is the like wannabe battle pack mosaic rares, which are pretty much useless, because I mean the star foils are just superior in every way personally. So first edition star foil rares exclusively, I would take a look at those, or first edition original print Pharaonic Guardian rares, Generation 1, really great set. This is also an option too. These shouldn't be too horribly expensive, and this is insanely old original print. There is a stack of 3 here for 2 bones for lightly played, and then about a stack of 6 here for 3 bones for lightly played, and then 3 bones for first edition near mints for a stack. So that's a thing. And then if you want, ideally, if you're not going to go first edition original print rares, there is a holo foil. The only holo foil that we currently have, Legendary Collection 3. Again, no surprise, Legendary Collection 3 Yugi's World holding it up. They just have all the numbers. For super rares, which is the only holo foil that we have here in the TCG, which is really cool. 4 bones for first edition near mint copies, and there's 3 pages of availability. Let's see if there's any stack pricing. Then it goes up to 8 bones for bulk pricing, starting market price of 4 near mint first edition. So a really great card. I think this is really undervalued. Really great artwork too. I hate snakes. Snakes freak me out. Snakes are the symbol of the devil. But this has got, I just love the treasure and like the whole trap aspect, and you know, he's got a pretty greedy face, so seems prevalent with the name. Thank you so much for watching these videos. It is my greatest ambition to create a community here for everyone and just try to bring everyone together. I love this game because it's like every time I look at certain cards, like these memories get unlocked from my childhood, and it's very nostalgia. I really love that I've kept the passion for this game for so many years, and I really do think that the passion is going to continue to grow and just maintain the more I dip deeper into the realms of this game. And it's really important to have hobbies. Life is just boring without things that you can invest your resources in and speculate and conversate with, and It's just a fun time. It's better when you have some colorful things to enjoy in your life. The world is a crazy place. Please remember to take care of each other. Please be a brother, be a sister, love each other. There's a lot of isolationism, depression, loneliness, stress. There's so many terrible emotional binds that are just surrounded in this world. Please remember to love each other. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I'll see you in the next video.